Hi, and welcome to another edition of King Crush Thursday, the series where we highlight and uplift Black men, because frankly, not too many people are doing it. My name is Val Gay, and I am thrilled and honored to bring to you yet another amazing king. This king is a heart transplant cardiologist at Baylor Scott White in Temple, Texas, Dr. Albert Hicks. And I'm so excited that he's here. So welcome, without any further ado, welcome, Dr. Albert. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Val. I really appreciate you bringing me on.
Awesome. Well, we're so glad that you're here representing us. I have to say too, being a native Philadelphian and knowing that you're a native Philadelphian, South Philly boy, a family man, it's just really beautiful to see. It's especially in trying times like these. Often we just don't hear enough about people like you and people who look like you, who come out of our communities. And are representing us all over the world. And so I'm so grateful because you are participating in this repository of questions and answers, right? So the same 6 questions, and we ask you to answer with the hopes of a young king, perhaps. He may or may not have positive Black male role models in his life, that he can come to this repository and see these same questions and answers by a myriad of men, some who have similar experiences to him and some who don't, and just opening the whole world to him. And then for the rest of us who are neither male and or even Black, that we get an opportunity to see into this vast community that is often overlooked and frankly maligned. And so I'm so grateful again that you are contributing to this positive repository that is meant to uplift. And so with that, I want to get started with the first question, which is, what does manhood mean to you?
Manhood means, to me, being accountable for yourself, being accountable to your work ethic, and being accountable to others. My father would always teach me, a man is no better than his word. And, that is difficult to understand. And I think it's misinterpreted often by young men. You feel that you need to overpromise, and many times that leads to under-delivering. As a man, you have to know your limitations. You have to, understand the things that you're strong at and where you need help. Recognize your weaknesses and work on them. You don't have to stay there, but know that you promise what you can. It's great to over-deliver and under-promise, but to be accountable to God, be accountable to, whatever, belief system you believe in, to your family first, if you can, to your community next, to your work, and then to all those that depend on you. And I think to me, that's what manhood is.
Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Al, who and or what is important to you?
Well, my family, number one. I'm a huge family person, and my job of where I work now in Texas takes me away from my family. I'm here during the week, and at least for the last 4 some odd years, I travel back and forth on weekends and days that I'm not on call on the weekends. I have a lot of frequent flyer miles to Philadelphia and Baltimore, where I have a family kind of spread out, and just to make sure that I'm still an excellent father, and just a great partner in raising my children. I have a 6-year-old, or soon to be 6-year-old. I have a 8-year-old, just turned 8, and I'm also the father of a 21-year-old who is a junior at St. Louis University doing biomedical engineering and pre-med. So next, I'm accountable to my patients. As a transplant cardiologist, I form a bond with my patients. I let them know that, once we care for you, once we, put a heart in you, you're part of our family. If you get admitted anywhere else in the world to the hospital, they're going to transfer you back to me. They're going to call me regardless if I'm on vacation or not, because they know that I know the most about you. And that's the community of transplant. It's a very small community, but you're accountable to your patients, and that's what you sign up for. And then again, accountable to my community. It is not lost on me that I'm a rare commodity where I work. I'm the first Black cardiologist that my organization has ever had, and they've only been around for over 100 years. Right. Welcome to Texas. And, it's also, just rare around the country. So, I try to, recognize, disparities that exist amongst our people, especially in heart failure, where I specialize. There are a ton of disparities in outcomes, in prevalence of heart failure, in mortality, and also our ability to care for patients that look like me. So I really try to be an advocate, to sit at the have a seat at the table and do justice to bring voice to those that don't have voice, so that can help not only myself, my patients, but patients that look like my family.
Wow. Excellent. Thank you for that. That's awesome. So, Dr. Al, how do you want us to see you?
I want you to see me as a person. The other day I posted a video of myself getting a COVID vaccine, and I know that there docs around the country are doing that, try to make their patients feel more comfortable doing it. I did mine for a different reason, and I made sure I had a video of it because there is a dark, very dark history that the medical community has with us, period. Our bodies were the ones that were being, drug out in the middle of the night from graveyards to, allow medical schools to experiment and to allow them to, use our bodies for, anatomy projects throughout the 18 and 1900s. And, going down the line of all the atrocities that the medical community has inflicted upon us. With that understanding, it's very understandable to have hesitancy about vaccinations and things of that nature. But if you know the things that I know, if you see patients getting COVID, if you know that 70% of people that get COVID have underlying heart disease after they have COVID that they didn't have before. They have MRI results that show inflammation in their heart, and that's assuming you lived from it. If you look like me or look like my father, there's like a 1 in 10 chance that you'll die from the disease. So understanding that versus a vaccination in which over 1.1 million people have already been vaccinated worldwide and 0 people have died from it, versus 90,000 people that have died since we started implementing the vaccine, it's a no-brainer. So I want people to see me as a person, as a father that wants to be around for his children, as a son that cares for his father, that did this mainly for my dad, so that I could convince him so that he doesn't die from something that he didn't have to die from. To really try to be that example to dispel all the myths and dispel the distrust that is rightfully within this community. And that's all. I'm a South Philly guy. It comes out every once in a while. You get me angry enough, but I try to be down to earth with my patients. I don't speak in big words. It doesn't matter how smart I am. If I can't explain what's wrong with you in a language that in a way, in a manner that you can't understand, then my degrees, my knowledge means nothing.
Mm-hmm. I get that. Yes. Thank you. So, Dr. Al, what is your epic dream?
My dream, I have a lot of dreams. My biggest dream is to live in a world in which respect is given to all. But if I can't fight for all, I want to fight for us. Black people, obviously the Black woman. Again, we're the most disrespected people in this country, in the world. And within our own home, within our own country, there needs to be a recognition of, what's what's happened to us. My dream would be to live in a world in where, we can openly discuss and actually benefit from, the fixing the mistakes of the past. I want to have a world. I had a 4-point plan for reparations that, anyone that wants to hear about, I talk about, like if I've been able to go back in my family tree and actually find enslaved individuals just through the U.S. Census.
Mm.
So my plan is that if you can prove that you are a descendant of slaves in this country, then you should not have to ever pay taxes again. My education should be funded by the government. Now I have to get into the school and qualify, but my tuition from kindergarten throughout my schooling will be covered by the federal government. And that means those schools will try to clamor for students that look like me because they know they're going to be getting full tuition, unlike the full tuition I pay now, in which I actually fund a lot of white families to go to the schools, which is like, it's just beyond me right now. And then also, federally backed mortgages that aren't tied to credit reports and credit scores. Again, doing things to try to, decrease the disparity in neighborhood disenfranchisement, in healthcare inequities, and, really allow my people to thrive and live. The reason why COVID's been so bad, there may be some genetic issues that are different between us and people with more African descent than less. But honestly, it just highlighted the disparities in neighborhoods, in unequal care, in food deserts, and in employment that we have in this country that was systematic and deliberate.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be my dream, to be criticized and not have to wonder, am I being criticized because I'm Black or because I actually did something wrong? That's all I want. That's it.
That's it. I get it. So you've answered these questions brilliantly, and through your answers, I think you've actually answered question 5, but I feel the need, because it's my question 5, to ask the question, which is, Dr. Al, who are you?
Oh, I guess I did partially answer this question. I'm a son, I'm a father, I'm a friend, I'm a fighter, and I'm an advocate, but ultimately I'm a servant. I know that many of my colleagues get a little full of themselves. Yes, I'm a physician. Yes, I'm a cardiologist. Yes, I'm a transplant cardiologist. Like, I worked really hard and many hours and many decades of sacrificed time to provide the care that I do. But ultimately, my job is to serve my patients. My job is to serve my community. My job is to serve my family. And if I'm entrusted to be a leader in that community, I have to lead by example and lead by serving. And if I can serve as that example for anyone watching, just like something that's been done for me, to have people that I can look up to, examples that I can see and say, okay, that's something that's achievable, and I've done my job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So here we are already at question 6, which is, have I missed anything? Is there anything that I should have asked you that you wish I had, that I didn't, or basically, did I miss anything?
You didn't ask me who my favorite team was.
Who is your favorite team and which sport?
Oh, well, I played football when I was in Philly. So obviously it's the Eagles. A South Philly guy, I'm a couple miles away from the stadium. I bleed green. I'm really happy about Jalen Hurts, and hopefully we continue the black quarterback streak that we have in Philly. And nothing wrong with Carson Wentz. I think he's a great person, but he just doesn't have it this year. So
okay, EAGLES, Eagles.
I'm a proud Bison, even though we suck at sports, but clearly we have a vice president now. So
got it. Awesome. That's awesome. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for answering these questions and being with us today. I like I told you before, and that anyone that's been following this series has known, since 2019, I've been regularly, quietly featuring you in photos when we first started with just the curated videos that were thematic. And I just really appreciate your presence on social media and just in our community so that, again, people can see and narratives start to shift. I am also really grateful as a transplant donor. I donated my kidney to my brother a few months ago, and I'm so grateful. I've learned so much about the process, and just it truly is the gift of life on both sides, and so just knowing that you provide those kind of services to families and to those patients is just really powerful. And so I thank you for that. And I really, when you decide to run and you put out your 4-point plan, I'm like, we heard about it here. We heard about it here because it's a great plan for reparations, and it makes a lot of sense. Being a descendant of someone who was kidnapped from her home, his home, and brought here to work for free is, the more I think about it, the more I am grateful to my ancestors and for my ancestors, the power and the strength that they had to persevere, as evidenced by our existence today. Some people didn't make it for whatever reason, but our ancestors did. And I'm actually really proud of them. And I am proud of you, my brother, for all the work that you do. So I honor you, my king. And I just pray that you will continue to grow and that your children will no doubt be incredibly, even more so proud of you than they already are, and that you will continue to do the work inside of the surgical suite as well as outside. And I just thank you.
Well, I thank you. And, to my queen, Val, this is an amazing series. I do appreciate how you definitely uplift Black men. I think that with what, we see in society, the Black woman has always been our supporters, and you continue that legacy. And I just want to say you do a great job of it and continue doing amazing work.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for joining us for this episode. I'm hoping you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And please stay tuned for next week for yet another king, where we will bring another king to meet with us and to chat with us. In the meantime, if there's a king that you want to highlight in this forum, please feel free to click the link on below or in my bio or DM me and nominate them, and we will take it from there. Until then, though, please remember to spread love and have a great day. Thanks, and bye. And thank you so much, Dr. Al.
No problem.
Awesome.